Good morning, beautiful human beings. It is Martin Luther King Day here in the United States, and when I was thinking of what I'd like to talk about this morning with you all, I realized, oh, right, it's Martin Luther King Day, and what that got me thinking about, to be honest, was all of the different people throughout history. I'm not going to start naming a bunch of names and go into each individual story. However, the general gist was like, gosh, it caused me to think about all these people that we have heard about in history who were these big change makers, who rallied for change. And I was thinking, gosh, I know this might not make a lot of sense to your brain. For me, it's interesting because today here, at least, the energies feel quite peaceful. And I know a lot of that may actually have to do with the snow, which is a whole topic for another video that I hope to be discovering to share with you guys because I think it's a really interesting point. Something else I thought of this morning. Side tangent for another day. At any rate, it's quite chilly outside. We just got a big dump of snow last night. There's about 6 inches of snow out there. What I was thinking about is these change makers, and I don't know if you know this, you guys. I doubt I would have mentioned it, but at points in my life, I've been made fun of for being a dreamer. I don't know if you have. Perhaps you shared that experience. Perhaps you haven't. And what I was thinking about this morning in realizing that it was Martin Luther King Day is, guys, and this is just sort of a general statement. This is not anything other. It's like, can you imagine where we'd be if people hadn't stood up for change? And the reason that I'm talking about that again today is because I believe that I, as well as many of the people that I'm like-minded with, if that makes sense, would call ourselves probably a part of this movement to uplift the world, to create a new version of society which isn't fueled by the same things as the old one. So as this old kind of matrixy, corrupted, very, very broken system that we have in existence is kind of crumbling and breaking down, we, people like me, the earth angels, light workers, star seeds, whatever term you resonate with, we're the ones who are like working on building a it sounds so cliche, building a better future, right? And so I just wanted to kind of impress that upon you. If you happen to be a real dreamer and you have something you really know you're meant to bring into this world, I just encourage you to never give up on that ever. Because think about it, if Martin Luther King had not stood up for what he did, had not, for instance, given the world famous "I have a dream" speech, I can't help but wonder if we'd be where we'd be now. I mean, I know that where we are, at least in terms of, and I don't want to bring this up because it's very delicate and I don't really want to upset anybody. I have a lot of feelings about equal rights and all of that. At any rate, I also have come to realize, however, in saying that equal rights is an interesting thing as I get older, because when I was younger, I used to think, okay, yes, I agree, everybody should be equal. And although I largely still feel that way, I'm looking at it through a different lens. Nowadays, it's like, well, yes, everybody's equal in the sense that everybody is exactly who they're supposed to be in that incarnation to do what they're supposed to do. If we don't have the courage to pursue our potentially crazy dreams, the world doesn't move forward. The world needs a mix of both people who are in it creating and inventing and fighting the systems and not fighting the systems. Like, we need the whole mix of all of the things in the world for it to function. And so I just find it interesting that as I awoke this morning, the energy is so peaceful because I know that there's like a lot going on in the world at large here now, which seems just interesting. Fires on one side of the country and on my side of the country, beautiful, stunningly gorgeous, like just a dump of snow. And at, contrary though, like right before that, during the whole summertime, we'd had a huge drought for like the entire summer. We almost got no rain. So it's so interesting. But the point I mainly wanted to share was, if you happen to be someone with one of these huge dreams like Martin Luther King, have the courage in yourself and have the knowing and the faith in your own dream that you're here to bring that here. And I genuinely can't imagine how the world would be had Martin Luther King not started to speak up for the rights of other folks. I'm only saying it that way to avoid like the potentially getting nuked by YouTube, and also because I don't want to reference the old negative terms, you know what I mean, that used to separate us. The whole point that people like I and others are working for in this day and age is to unify us, to bring unity, consciousness, and love and peace. And that also, I suppose, could be a whole tangent for another day. So I wanted to share that thought, that if, like me, you are one of these people who has really big, like world-altering dreams, genuinely and sincerely, that you know that you're here to shift and bring through, I guess the message is just please don't give up, because you are absolutely here to share that thing, and that probably you are, and I've said this a million times, a million different ways, and probably will again, you're the only one who can bring that dream through in the way that it was meant to be brought through. And yes, you're here to do that. And if I may end this beautiful little rant with some really like gem wisdom, and I'm not kidding at all. One of the most impactful things that I learned over the whole last year, and also like have solidified again within this month of January, if there's one thing else that you take away from this channel, it's that whenever you receive what I'll call an inspired idea, like you have an idea and you go, oh, that would be a really good idea. Two things. One, write it down immediately. And two, please do the thing. Whatever it is, whatever the inspired idea, thing, creation, music piece, whatever it is, I urge you, the quicker you take action on that inspired idea, the more inspired ideas you'll get. This is how it works. And this is the briefest way I can explain this, though I'll probably do a whole other video on it. The universe responds to energy, and so it likes energy. Just like a little child, it wants to play. So when you get an idea, it wants to be played with, it wants to be used. And what you'll find if you test this, which I wouldn't suggest, because what happens is when the universe gives you an idea, if you ignore it and you don't take action on it, it'll take it away and give it to someone else who will, because like I just said, the universe is like a child and it wants to play, it wants movement and action. So if you're somebody who just kind of chills, it's going to be like, I'm bored, I'm moving on. So that is also a great way to like get into flow, because the more that you pay attention to what the universe is giving you to work with, the easier the flow of life really does become. That's not just a cliche statement that some people say. Things really do become easier the more we stop trying to control our lives because we think we know how to get to where we're supposed to be. And the reality of it is that only the universe knows where we're headed, and they're the only ones with the blueprint. So honestly, the best suggestion I could give you in life would just be to relax, have faith that you have a purpose that's very specific to you, and to follow the breadcrumbs of the universe to your highest path and potential. Because if everybody did that, we would have so much of a more peaceful, loving society. And that's, of course, what I'm working towards. So thank you for sitting with me for this chat. If you do need coaching, you can always reach out to this email address here, listed down below as well. And I will see you beautiful cats in the next video. Thanks for being here. Namaste. Much love. And if you're in New England, enjoy the snow. Bye. Like, yes, we need people, of course, the world, I don't know what exactly I'm trying to say. And at any rate, maybe I'll insert some footage later, maybe I won't. But if you're in the New England, yada-dee, yada-dee.